Hello and welcome to all to Word Painting Poetry. My name is Joy Moore. I'm an author, editor, and poet. The purpose of this video is for educational reasons to help my students better understand the elements of poetry. This post I will be discussing the Pine Cone Secret, a life cycle poem, and the use of mixed meter. Words are by Hannah Bartleby, pictures by Cedric Abt. Notice the stanzas that follow. A pine tree is a cone, clinging and swinging and hanging up high, sealed like a secret and ready to fly. The wind starts to blow, then look out below. A pine tree begins with the cone. A pine tree is a sapling, stretching and reaching for sunlight and rain, watching the seasons pass once, twice again. Root digging down, with branches a crown, a pine tree turns into a sapling. A pine tree is a tower, covered in needles, bristly and lean, steady and changing, a coat evergreen, patiently growing, trusting and knowing, someday she'll be a tall tower. I have scanned this as dactylic tetrameter done in quatrains, mostly. This is a concept book. There's a whole lot of things I could say about this poem, but space is limited, so I will focus on something that's less talked about, and that is mixed meter. What is mixed meter? Mixed meter is not to be confused with metrical variation. Mixed meter is the addition or substitution of the base meter. Why use mixed meter? To avoid predictability and to keep the listener engaged. Is mixed meter allowed? Yes. However, there must be a reason for the switch up. And once you decide to use mixed meter, the pattern that you choose must remain consistent throughout your manuscript. Can you identify where the author has used mixed meter? Can you understand the reason? I will give you a hint. The mixed meter is before the first line of every stanza. This first line serves as a topical sentence. This states the purpose of the stanza, which happens to be about a pine tree. This book goes on to relate how a pine cone circles back to a pine tree. And this book is as lovely as can be. Let me show you how the author has done this and why I call it brilliant. This first line, a pine tree is a cone, is done in iambic trimeter. And it is a topical sentence. It raises the question, in what ways is a pine tree a cone? The quatrain below answers that question. However, it's done in the opposite of iambic. It is done dactylic, tetrameter. Clinging and swinging and hanging up high, sealed like a secret and ready to fly. The wind starts to blow, then look out below. A pine tree begins with a cone. The last line, a pine tree begins with a cone, mirrors the topical sentence, a pine tree is a cone. The next stanza, the topical sentence, a pine tree is a sapling, done in iambic trimeter, followed by a quatrain done in dactylic tetrameter. It answers the question, in what way is a pine tree a sapling? And then this topical sentence, a pine tree is a tower, done in iambic trimeter, followed by a quatrain done in dactylic tetrameter. So you can see how things get switched up, but the author has done this consistently throughout the entire book. Another thing that's very interesting and powerful is this third line in every single stanza has internal rhyme. The wind starts to blow rhymes with below. Root digging down rhymes with crown. Patiently growing rhymes with no. So I hope that you have enjoyed this discussion of mixed meter. If you have, please consider giving me a like by clicking on the thumbs up link down below.